When the temperature outside starts to climb, so does the risk of a really serious emergency. Today, we're going to break down what happens when someone pushes themselves too hard in the heat, and more importantly, what you can do to save a life. Because honestly, those first few minutes, they make all the difference.
Okay, let's just jump right into it with a real world situation. Imagine you see this. A guy's been working outside, he's confused, not making sense, his skin is hot but also kind of damp. You've got these four choices. What's your immediate gut reaction? What's the first thing you do? No pressure, but your choice here is, well, it's critical.
So that scene we just painted, that's not just a person who's a little overheated. Not even close.
Let's be really, really clear about this. The combination of those symptoms, especially the confusion, points to one thing. It's a true life or death medical emergency where the body has completely lost its ability to cool itself down. And the name for this is exertional heat stroke. It's what happens when your body's internal temperature gets so high from physical activity that your central nervous system starts to shut down. It's a total system failure. So in a high-stress moment like that, how do you know for sure that it's heat stroke? Well, you've got to know which clues to look for, and, just as important, which one might actually trick you.
In that scenario we started with, there was one little detail that was specifically designed to throw you off. It's a super common misunderstanding, and getting it wrong could mean a fatal delay.
And here it is, the moist skin. So many of us are taught that heat stroke means hot, dry skin. But that's not always true. A person can still be sweating or have damp skin, so you have to ignore that. The two things you absolutely cannot ignore are hot skin, hot to the touch, and any kind of mental change. Confusion, slurred speech, irritability, anything that's not normal for them. Those are your real clues. And there's a good reason for this. Our source material puts it perfectly. Even when the body's cooling system starts to fail, there can still be sweat left on the skin. So, let me say it again, what really matters is how hot their skin feels and what's going on inside their head. Okay, so you've seen the signs, you've made the call. This is heat stroke. Now what? Well, now it's all about action. There's a very clear protocol, and trust me, it's aggressive for a very, very good reason. If you take away just one thing today, please let it be this. Your number one mission, above everything else, is to cool that person's body down as fast as you possibly can. We're not talking about waiting or being gentle. We're talking about immediate, active cooling. And the action plan itself is pretty simple. First, get them out of the heat, into the shade, into an air-conditioned building, whatever you can do. Second, get their clothes off. You need as much skin exposed as possible. And third, without wasting a single second, start cooling them down. Now, how you cool them is key. You can't just put ice packs anywhere and hope for the best. For this to work fast, you have to target the areas where major blood vessels are close to the surface. We're talking about the groin and the axillae. That's the armpits. Hitting these spots cools the blood as it circulates, which is like a direct route to bringing that dangerous core body temperature down. So why all the rush? Why are we being so aggressive here? Because with exertional heat stroke, you are in a literal race against time. Every single second that core temperature stays high, damage is being done. And this is what you're racing against. That extreme internal heat is, and this is going to sound brutal, but it's essentially cooking the internal organs, especially the brain. The longer that goes on, the higher the chance of permanent brain damage or even death. And that brings us right back to our first question. That option C, letting the person cool down gradually, it sounds so reasonable, right? Gentle. But it's actually the most dangerous thing you could do. It's just way too slow to stop the catastrophic damage that's happening inside the body. Now, of course, while all this is happening, someone should have already called for an ambulance. When the professionals get there, they're going to take over. They'll be getting an IV started for fluids, checking blood sugar, but here's the key part. They're going to keep cooling the person down. Even in the back of the ambulance on the way to the hospital, the cooling never stops. So let's wrap it all up. Looking back at our question, the right answer was D. It was the only option that hit all the critical points. It's immediate, it's aggressive, and it uses the right technique to cool the body as quickly as possible. That's the whole ballgame. So we've walked through it all. You know the signs to look for. You know the crucial steps to take. You have the information you need to save a life. But the real question is, in that moment, with everything happening, would you have the confidence to act and act fast? It's something worth thinking about long before you ever have to face it.